Hello, my name is Rachel Wilson and I am the Health and Wellness Fellow at the Latin United Community Housing Association. And one of the things that I'm really interested in sharing with you today is some tips about how to make your home that you live in as healthy as it can be. So we know that most people spend an average of 80% of their time in their home. So you're exposed to a lot of different health issues in your home. So I want to go over some of the most common ones and talk about how to reduce occurrences of asthma attacks, allergies, pests, dust, and mold in your home so you can live a healthy life inside of your home. And I'm going to be using a document developed by the Department of Housing and Urban Development. It's called Everyone Deserves a Safe and Healthy Home, and you can find it online just by Googling HUD, Everyone Deserves a Safe and Healthy Home, and I'll show you what it looks like. So I'm just going to be going through some of the most important parts of this document online so we can start thinking about how to make our homes as healthy as they can be. All right, so first, let's talk about why do we care about keeping our homes healthy. So, we do believe at Lucha, and we believe that everyone should look inside of their home and address issues to make it as healthy as possible. So a home can definitely support the health of your family as much as a healthy lifestyle and a healthy diet, because there are so many things in your home that can contribute to health. So it's important for people of all ages to know how to make their home safe and healthy for their own health concerns. It's always worth taking time to make the place you call home a healthier and safer place to live. So here are some simple steps to get started. I'm going to go through 8 principles of keeping a healthy home. So the first is to keep it dry. So damp homes provide an environment for dust, mites, roaches, and mold. So all of these can cause or worsen asthma and allergies. In addition, moisture can damage the building materials in your home as well. So it will actually it can corrode walls and things, and then you'll have to get it fixed more often than if you were controlling the mold problems in your home. Another principle is to keep it contaminant-free. So levels of contaminants such as lead, radon, carbon monoxide, asbestos, secondhand smoke, and other chemicals are often much higher indoors. And it's really important to install a carbon monoxide monitor in your home because carbon monoxide is a gas that's generated by things like stoves and car exhaust that it's not exactly, you can't smell it necessarily, so it's really important to have that monitor in your home in order to warn you if carbon monoxide is leaking into your home, because that can be a very deadly hazard. Another really important part of keeping a healthy home is to keep it pest-free. So exposure to pests such as roaches and rodents can trigger an asthma attack in people with asthma. Another important part about keeping a home healthy is to keep it safe. So injuries such as falls, burns, and poisonings occur most often in the home, especially with children and seniors. And there are many steps you can take to reduce this risk of falls, burns, and poisonings in your home. Keeping it clean is also really important. So clean homes reduce pest infestation and exposures to contaminants. Keeping it well maintained is also important. Poorly maintained homes are at risk for moisture, pest problems, and injury hazards. Deteriorated lead paint is often the primary cause of children being harmed by lead. So if you live in a home that was built before 1978, make sure to get it tested, and if you're a renter, you can ask your landlord. They should give you a brochure when you move in that talks about the testing that the home has been through, but make sure that you talk to your landlord if you have any lead concerns about there being lead in your home. The 7th principle of a healthy home is to keep it well ventilated. So having a good fresh air supply to your home is important to reduce exposure to indoor air pollutants and increase respiratory health. Lastly, keeping a home temperature controlled is very important for keeping it healthy. So homes that do not have balanced and consistent temperatures may place your family at increased risk for exposure to extreme cold, heat, or humidity. And again, this is something that can trigger asthma attacks. If someone is breathing air that's too hot or too cold, sometimes that can be a trigger for asthma. So I'm going to go through some of a little bit more detail about some of the principles that I just talked about. So first I want to talk about allergies and asthma. So the hazard with these is asthma is a lung disease, and more than 7 million children in the United States have asthma, and another 40 to 50 million people have allergies. And an allergy is an unusual reaction to something. A lot of people have food allergies, some people have pet allergies, but all of these things can become stronger inside the home because you're not outside with the fresh air. So if you're exposed to some of these things that you may have an allergic reaction to, it's really important to control that in your home. And the health effects of asthma are that it makes it hard to breathe. If you have asthma, your chest often feels tight, your breathing sounds raspy, and you are wheezing and coughing. Allergies can make you have a running nose, watery eyes, and sneezing, and they can also affect your skin with a rash or itching. So the source of asthma and allergies, there's various sources, but I'll go through some of the most common ones. So there are many items in the home environment that can cause asthma attacks, and what these are called are triggers. So an example of an asthma trigger is pollen from trees and flowers. Other triggers come from chemicals, dogs and cats, cockroaches, mice, mold, and cigarette smoke. So it's really important if you have asthma or if you live in a house with someone with asthma, make sure that there is not secondhand smoke in the home. So if you have to smoke, go outside. But obviously, it's preferable to quit smoking. But we'll save that for another talk. So some of the things that you can do to address asthma in the home is to wash your bedding in hot water and detergent every week. This kills dust mites, which are also a cause of asthma and an allergy trigger. Use the highest dryer heat the clothing care label recommends and make sure that your clothing is dry. Use a zippered mattress and pillow covers for your bed that can keep dust mites out as well as bed bugs. Use a good air filter for your furnace and replace it every 3 months. The recommended is MERV 8 or higher, and basically you can find that on the packaging, MERV. And if you buy MERV 8 or higher, it has a better ability to filter out toxins and dust particles in the air. And another important thing is to not allow anyone to smoke inside your home and your car. That's very important. Use a HEPA vacuum and dust your home with damp disposable cloths. Keep pets away from bedrooms and off furniture, especially if you're allergic. Clean pet beds and litter boxes frequently. Avoid air fresheners, incense, and candles. Those can be asthma triggers. Strong smells can often trigger asthma. Ask your doctor about a home assessment to find and control asthma triggers in your home. And lastly, use a dehumidifier in damp or humid areas of your home. That will control the moisture in the air, which allows for mold to grow, which can be an asthma trigger. So a lot of these things are interrelated. So you want to keep your home dry. That will stop mold from growing, and it will also discourage pests from taking up residence in your home. So the next, we're going to move on to talking about mold and moisture in the home. So the hazard associated with mold is molds are commonly found in nature, but inside your home, mold growth should be avoided. It spreads in tiny spores, and the spores are actually invisible to your eyes. The spores will float through the indoor air of your home, and it can begin growing indoors and be seen when mold spores land on surfaces that are wet or in rooms that are humid. So damp and humid areas of your home can also be a hazard, even without mold. But there's a lot of health effects associated with mold growing in the home. So many people are allergic or sensitive to mold. If you have allergy problems or asthma at home, but not when you're away, you may have mold growing in your home. So pay attention to that if you're feeling like extra sniffly or hard to breathe in your home versus other places, you might have a mold problem, especially if you have damp areas in your home. So if you have mold in your home, you may have trouble breathing, have wheezing, runny nose, headaches, itching, or watery eyes. Damp or humid areas in your home can also cause these symptoms in people with asthma. So even if there is no mold, damp we talked about this earlier, damp or humid areas can make it harder for those with asthma to breathe and can cause asthma attacks. So using a dehumidifier is also a really great idea no matter what. So the source of mold, let's talk a little bit about that. So mold is usually found in areas of high humidity, such as the kitchen and the bathroom. So it's really important when you're cooking or when you're showering or there's a lot of moisture in the air to use the exhaust fans that are vented to the outside. Make sure that those are turned on at all times when you're cooking or showering. So mold can grow on walls, clothes, or appliances. It also grows in hidden places like behind walls, in attics, and under carpet. So mold can smell musty. A musty odor sometimes means that mold is alive and growing. So pay attention to that. If you're in your home and you smell something musty, there might be a mold problem. So these are a couple tips to keep on top of mold in your home. So keep the humidity in your home less than 50% and use a dehumidifier if your home is too humid. Install and use exhaust fans in the bathrooms and kitchens. That's really important. Make sure that they're vented to the outside. Clean up water and puddles from leaking pipes, ceilings, or walls, and fix leaks right away. Don't let leaks go on too long because that increases the chance that mold might grow. Make sure that your dryer vents to the outside. Keep gutters and downspouts free of leaves and clogs that can actually cause water to drip down the sides of your home and infiltrate inside the home and cause mold that way. If you have mold that you can see in your home, like that actually is visible, identify the water source or leak that's causing the mold and fix the problem first. Throw away any cardboard, carpeting, insulation, foam, or fabrics that have been wet for more than 2 to 3 days, or if they have mold. Remove small areas of mold using the steps listed. You can find steps to remove mold at www.epa.gov/mold. And they usually recommend if you have an area of mold that is larger than 15 square feet that you call a professional. Personally, I would call a professional if I had one larger than 5 square feet. But it's also really important to protect yourself when you're cleaning up mold in your home. Wear a mask and open the windows because, again, you don't want to be, as you're cleaning the mold, you'll be releasing the spores and you don't want to be breathing those in directly. So make sure that you have an open window and you're wearing gloves to protect your hands and you're wearing a mask to protect your face. All right, so the next topic about keeping a healthy home is household chemicals. So a hazardous household chemical is a product that you use around the house that can become harmful or poisonous if not used properly. Accidents can happen if products are misused, stored, or disposed in the wrong way. So some hazardous products burn you or poison you through your skin if you touch them. Other products poison you when you breathe them. You might feel sick to your stomach, dizzy, or your eyes might water, or sting or hurt. Common reactions are also headaches or a stuffy nose. So the source of some toxic household products include cleaning supplies, pesticides, fertilizers, polishes, glues, batteries, paint, mercury thermometers, oil, and gasoline. So that's a pretty long list, but I'm going to focus on cleaning products today, and I'm actually going to teach you how to make your very own healthy, non-toxic cleaning products. A lot of the cleaning products that you buy at the store have chemicals that aren't necessarily good for you. If you touch them or breathe them in, a lot of them have been linked to cancer and asthma. So if it's best to make your own because you know exactly what's in it, but there are, if you go online, you can search safe non-toxic cleaning products, and that will give you a list of ones that you can look for. But we'll go through a checklist first about how to avoid some of these toxic products, and then I'll go through a little demonstration about how to make your own healthy cleaning products. So always keep household chemicals in their original containers and stored out of reach of children so you know exactly what and where they are. Follow the instructions on the labels, including wearing proper clothing and protection such as eye goggles and gloves when using some of the products. Never mix bleach and ammonia products together. Do not eat, drink, or smoke when using household chemicals. And dispose of household chemicals safely by taking them to a hazardous waste collection site. And lastly, do not mix chemicals or products unless the label says it's safe. So I'm going to go ahead and go through a little demonstration about how to make your own healthy and non-toxic cleaning products. So I'm starting here with just a spray bottle full of water, and I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of vinegar. And it usually helps to have a little funnel here so you can get the vinegar into the bottle easier. You can use any vinegar. Here's the first tablespoon. And here's the second tablespoon. So in the bottle is our water and our vinegar, 2 tablespoons of vinegar. And next I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. The baking soda is pretty strong, so you don't need that much of it. I usually do 1 teaspoon. If you do too much, you can actually, when you're using your spray, it can actually leave some sort of powdery debris, and we don't want that. So I would say just use, for a spray bottle about this size, all you need is a teaspoon of baking soda. So here's our baking soda. And it fizzes up a little bit because there's a chemical reaction between baking soda and vinegar, so you know that it's working. Baking soda and vinegar are really good for cleaning because they both are pretty abrasive, and vinegar is actually antibacterial, so it'll kill bacteria if you're using it on your countertops or your tables to clean. Now I would suggest that you use this spray only for hard surfaces. Like countertops and, you know, if you have plastic furniture or something like that. You can even use it on the floor too. All right, so this is our spray. And if you want to give it sort of a better smell, you can use essential oils. And you can find essential oils at a lot of different grocery stores. They usually come in small bottles and are scented. So I like to use lavender and lemon in mine to make it smell more like the cleaning products that you would buy at the store, but it's better because you know exactly what's inside. All right, so let's go over a couple more principles of keeping a safe and healthy home. We're going to talk about pests now. So pests are unwanted living things in or around your home and include bugs or rodents that get inside. Pests may also include bed bugs, which are tiny insects that feed off the blood of humans and animals. So the health effects of pests are many. So inside of your home, mice, rats, and cockroaches may trigger asthma attacks. Insects and rodents can also get into your food and make it unedible. Mice and rats can chew on electrical wires and cause fires as well. Bites from rats, fleas, ticks, and certain spiders can also make you ill. And some pests and bugs can spread diseases. So long story short, you don't want pests in your home. And if you do find that you have pests in your home, it's not necessarily means that you are dirty or your house is dirty. You just have to make sure that you take the right precautions to keep pests out of your home, like sealing any types of leaks or cracks in your home that can be a source of pests. So make sure if you notice pests coming in, you try to find out where they're coming from, and you can do that on your own, or you can call a professional to help you. So the sources of pests are, again, there are many sources where pests can come from. They can travel into your home from outdoors or other places, and they're looking primarily for places with food, water, and shelter. So pests often enter your home through gaps or openings in walls, doors, or windows, but they can also be carried inside by pets. So a couple things to keep in mind on the checklist when thinking about keeping your home safe from pests are to store food, including pet food, in tightly sealed containers. Pests are looking for food, water, and shelter, so if you deny them of those things in your home, then it's less likely that you will have a problem with pests. You can find tightly sealable containers at many stores. So make sure that you clean up after cooking and eating as well, because if you leave food out, that's more likely that pests will come and want to eat that food. It's also important to seal up cracks around exterior doors, windows, pipes, and other holes to the outside, because that's another source where pests can come in. Do not let trash and clutter collect inside. Keep trash cans covered with lids. So trash and clutter collecting inside can sometimes provide not only food for pests, but also shelter. So again, we want to deny them of the three things that they're looking for: food, water, and shelter. Avoid using bug bombs. Use closed baits, traps, or gels instead. Bug bombs are toxic for bugs, but they're also toxic for humans. I would also avoid Raid spray. And do a lot of these proactive things, like making sure that you're cleaning up, sealing holes, not providing any clutter for pests to live in, rather than using those sort of more extreme measures, which can also be harmful to human health. If you do use pesticides, make sure that you read and use the label correctly. Fix water leaks and spills as soon as possible. Again, that's going to be a source for pests because they're always looking for water in your home. And install animal-proof screens in vents and attics and in crawl spaces. That's going to be another first line of defense against pests in your home. And lastly, clean up your yard. Keep mulch, garden debris, and litter away from the foundation of your home, because if it's too close, that can actually attract pests to that organic material and then into your home. So you want to make sure that if you're doing any kind of mulching or garden composting is a great example, keep your compost away from the foundation of your home, because it's more likely that pests will be attracted if it's too close. So let's talk a little bit more about carbon monoxide. I mentioned earlier that it's important to have a carbon monoxide detector in your home. And I'll talk a little bit more about what it is and what you can do to make sure that your family isn't under threat from carbon monoxide. So carbon monoxide is a dangerous gas and it's not safe to breathe. You can't see, taste, or smell it, and you should always have a carbon monoxide alarm in your home. So if you're exposed to carbon monoxide, you might get headaches, upset stomach, vomiting, dizziness, weakness, or confusion. Severe cases can cause brain damage, blindness, deafness, heart problems, or death. So exposure to carbon monoxide can be a major threat to you and your family's health, so you want to make sure that you do have that carbon monoxide detector. So the source from carbon monoxide is, again, fuel, burning appliances, and automobiles are the main source of carbon monoxide in your home. So if you live in a home that has an attached garage, make sure that you have carbon monoxide alarms, and that there's no ventilation that is exchanged between that garage and your home. If you use natural gas, gasoline, kerosene, coal, propane, or wood in any of your household appliances, those are things that can cause carbon monoxide gas. So it can be produced if fuel-burning appliances aren't vented to the outside or are not working correctly. So it's good to have maintenance checkup of your home to make sure that everything's vented to the outside and there's no potential that carbon monoxide could be produced in your home. So we'll go over a little checklist about how to make sure that your family isn't exposed to carbon monoxide. One is to have a professional check your furnace, water heater, gas appliances, flues, chimneys, and fireplaces each year for carbon monoxide leaks. Two is to install a carbon monoxide alarm on each floor near bedrooms and check the batteries twice a year. You should also always have a garage door open when your car is running outside. Do not use your oven or stove to heat your house. Never use grills, generators, engines, lawnmowers, or other yard equipment indoors. Avoid the use of portable heaters that burn fuel. If you have to use a portable heater that burns fuel, always have it vented to the outside. And lastly, if your carbon monoxide detectors go off, leave your home immediately and call the fire department so your family isn't exposed to that dangerous carbon monoxide. So that is it for me. I'm wrapping up with Healthy Homes presentation, and I'm looking forward to the next time I can come and talk to you about how to keep a safe and healthy home. And again, that website is hud.gov/safe and healthy home, and you can find everything that I was talking about in the document that I showed you online. Thank you very much.